Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Dark Souls 3 video walkthrough. We're in the High Wall of Lothric and we are going to be felling Vordt of the Boreal Valley. So the first thing you're going to notice here is choppy frame rate, but hopefully that doesn't persuade you from watching the rest of the video. Oh, and my character's purple face. Yeah, I gave her purple face and pink hair. I don't know why, I just kind of did. It's one of those weird things. So this walkthrough, you'll notice, does not have the vignettes that I normally put on for my walkthroughs. A couple people might be wondering where they are, because I know they are a certain flavour of my content that's enjoyed. I enjoy it too, guys. The reason I haven't put it on is because I wanted this project to come out quicker rather than delaying it, and getting all that footage and putting it together is not the biggest of tasks, but it does take a while because it's 100% reliant on my creative whims, and I go up and down like a roller coaster. If you run quickly here, you can get under the dragon, and then if you jump across here, you don't have to mess around with anybody that follows you. However, I mentioned in the previous video, I'm going to show you a whole host of great weapons to get early on, and this next one is really good at killing Vordt and killing the Dancer if you choose to do them early. This is going to be a Mimic, and he drops a deep infused Great Axe, or not Great Axe, sorry, Battle Axe or something like that. And this axe is a wonderful weapon. Not only does it take off chunks off the early bosses, but it's a dark weapon, so it gives you an advantage against anything weak to dark. It is great to spec into, especially if you're making like a strength build or a quality build. It is an axe that will carry you through the entire game if you choose to, and it's not a bad choice either. Really, really competent weapon. I like it a lot. I'm actually going to use it against Vordt because it's better than my S-Stock at the moment, unupgraded. But it does take a while to kill the Mimic, and if you're not comfortable with Mimics, they can be quite intimidating. But once you know the patterns, they're a very simple enemy. Just make sure you don't get followed by anybody, because you can get gangbanged. And now we're going to be moving towards the Lothric Knight. But I'm going to do vignettes on a different project that's coming later on, so you will see some creative use of binoculars. I don't know why I pronounced them funny, but you get it. Oh, there was a bad parry. There was another bad parry. That one should be better. No? Wow! Here we go. Seraphim17 failed parry practice. This is going rough. But that's, you know, par for the course. This is a very dangerous enemy. I've got so used to the Cestus parries, apparently my timing was off. But there it was. A little bit better there. So, the Lothric Knights are incredibly aggressive, incredibly capable of damage, but they can be stun-locked and they can be parried. These are two things you want to use together to get victory. I want you to know just how bad those enemies can be. It might not have looked it from what you saw there. If you watched my blind playthrough, I got wrecked by them for a very long time. They're a tough enemy, but once you learn them, it's going to pay dividends in the future because there is a ton of them in the game. Get to know that enemy, get comfortable with it, and it'll never be too much of a trouble again. You'll be able to fight them confidently, and there's a lot of them, so every little really does add towards a whole. But here are a couple of thieves. Be careful not to get ambushed by them. The damage soon stacks up, especially if they backstab you. And we're going to hit one of the first bonfires of this area. There's also a sneaky piece of Titanite that's hidden off to the right behind it, which we're going to pick up, all in the calling of getting stronger and having an easier time through the game. Our number one mission right now is to get the weapon we're going to be using, and also to get a shield that blocks 100% physical. 100% physical is very important for defensive players or players who enjoy playing with shields. I'm going to show you where to get the first real competent shield outside of a couple ones you can buy. This one is free, you just have to have the stats to use it, as I missed my parry there and give that guy a couple of cheeky pokes and then progress onwards. So behind me, I have the primer guide for this game, and I'm going to go into some of the enemies and some of the drops, because I think it's interesting to add to the walkthrough. I don't recommend buying the guide. I think the guide's a bit shit. It's even printed on toilet paper, which is apt. But in the High Wall of Lothric, we have the Hollow Soldiers, the large Hollow Soldiers, the Praying Hollow Soldiers. And these guys are pretty standard fare with the looks of this. They have 167 life, they drop 30 souls, and they can drop a whole host of things from Titanite shards to Deserter armor to long swords, so you can get a lot of cool stuff. That dude right there is a Puss of Man, it's called, and if you kill him before he transforms, he dies really quick, but he doesn't give you his resource. Additionally, that Crystal Lizard will always drop a Raw Gem. That's the one we're going to be popping on our weapon for some early damage. It's such a good technique, guys. Experiment with it, you will just reap so many rewards. But the Lothric Knight has 326 life, so way more life. You get 220 souls for him, and he drops all kinds of Lothric gear, Titanite shards, embers. His weakness is lightning and frost. He's resistant to bleed. So if you have a lightning buff or the Irithil straight sword, that'll give you a bit of an advantage against those guys. The hollow guys are all weak to apparently poison and toxin, or toxic, which I haven't really experimented with. And the Pus of Man is of course weak to fire, which we all kind of do that. Moving swiftly on, the Lothric Red-Eyed Royal Guard. So this guy's important as I play with the shield dude. Backstabs work really well on this enemy, but you need to know he has a counter hit for moving behind him, where he hits you with his shield. Does a lot of stamina damage, does decent damage, and it's great at disorientating you, so be very careful. A lot of traps coming up too, watch out for this guy. But the Red Eyes guy, 468 life. That is a lot more than his buddies. 1200 experience, and he drops all kinds of stuff. Refined gems, random, all kinds of great things. And he is, again, weak to lightning and frost, which I wouldn't have thought, but apparently he is resistant to bleed. They call the bloody mimics avaricious beings, which is hilarious. Greedy mimics. There is the weapon we're going to be using, folks. You need 12 faith, so you might have to level up to use it, but it's well worth the time. We're going to drop down here, and we're going to get the Titanite shard, sorry, the Estus Flask shard. We're also going to be in a spot of bother because there's a lot of dudes here and there's a firebomber up on the balcony. We've got what we need, we just need to get the Estus, and then once we've done that, it's the one on the anvil. Look how bad this got real quick. I'm going to back up and heal. A lot of enemies in this room. If you've got any alluring skulls, they work wonders. If you use any firebombs, you can blow up some of those barrels and kill a ton of them prematurely. But never ever underestimate dogs. They're a nightmare in this game, and this dude here is very strong as well, so he can be quite dangerous. This is a large hollow soldier. Pretty damn scary when you get into a bad pattern with them, but keep you cool. Use your roll. Your roll's incredibly powerful. Use your block if you want to. Get him put down, get him killed, move forward. Easy peasy. But Vordt has 5,111 life. He gives you 60,000 souls? That ain't right. I think oh, my bad. I'm reading the wrong person. I saw the Boreal Valley bit. That's the dancer. I was going to bloody say, dancer gives you 60k. Good old Vordt. He gives you like 7.5 pence and a Mars bar. Right. Vordt has 1,328 life. That's a bit more like it. He gives 3,000 souls. His special ability is, of course, Frost, and he's weak to Dark, which tells you immediately, boom, we've got that deep axe, it's going to work. It says on here he's resistant to slash and thrust. So if you have a striking weapon, of course he's armoured, it's going to give you a big advantage in that fight. We're not going to be using a striking weapon, but it doesn't matter too much. That was an explosion there. Still alive somehow. All this is the attrition of picking up some items and doing a resource run. I'm going to sneak up on this dog as well because I don't like him. Another reason why I picked this particular class is because Spook is godlike. I apologise if any of my words sound a bit weird. I've bit the side of my tongue, and every time I talk it feels like something's poking the side of my mouth. It's really weird. But Spook is so good. It enables you to do all kinds of skips, all kinds of sneaky stuff, and the amount of damage on this game you take from falling is insane, so just negating that is a great addition. We're going to come over here and we're going to drop down, skipping the ladders and everything, but you need to be careful of the Winged Knight. This guy's not a particularly tough creature, but I did die, so be very careful, guys. The number one killer from this enemy is misleading range. There are times when this guy has so much range it's kind of crazy, and we have really low life, so just be very careful. See what I mean? He doesn't look like he should be able to hit you, but he can, so you want to be super careful. You can parry this creature. Again, look at that. Like, he gets me every time because I get lazy on just how much range he has. You can backstab him too. I made a video on farming where I kill a bunch of these guys. They're actually the upgraded ones as well, so they're more dangerous, but it's the same ethos every time you do it. This is his crazy wog move. It's best to try and backstab him so you get immunity there, but I poked him down and we can carry onwards as we push on towards the boss and towards the banner that we're going to need. But the guide is going to have two paths for players. The first path is going to be more of a beginner path, which is the early stuff. as normal, go to Fire and Keep, kill the Watchers, then go on from there to do the Catacombs of the Deep, or whatever it's called, the Cathedral of the Deep, sorry, and the Carthus Catacombs as you normally would. And then there's going to be a slightly more advanced path that you can take, where instead of going for Abyss Watchers, I'm going to go and kill the Dancer, and then I'm going to go for Osiris, and I'm going to go for Champion Gundyr, which on itself is not that challenging, but it can be if you're not experienced with those encounters. If you don't know how they work, you can have a very tough time. I did it for the purpose of getting a Hornet Ring before the Abyss Watchers, and guess what, folks? You cannot get the Hornet Ring before the Abyss Watchers. It does not exist. It's invisible. You have to kill the Abyss Watchers and then it becomes visible. So I learnt something in making this guide that I didn't know. And the footage that you're watching here is actually quite early. I recorded it a while back. I was very tempted to re-record the Gundyr fight to get a better looking fight, and I was really tempted to re-record the Vordt fight to once again show you some different strategies, but I wanted to commit to it because, in my opinion, when it comes to a walkthrough, especially of the Souls games, I like to get the first one I get, because I think it's more honest that way. And I was talking on a live stream today, and one of my subscribers by the name of Saki was saying he doesn't like to watch walkthroughs where the play is perfect all the time, and I understand exactly what he means. A walkthrough, in its essence to me, should be something that inspires but also educates, and if you're super great at everything and you show people perfect dodges, it doesn't really help because they are never going to dodge perfectly until they put the same amount of time in that you have. So when I get messy fights, sometimes the messy fights are the ones that are the best to convey how a boss can be. On top of that, you do get those fights that go really well, and they don't really give an honest statement of what that encounter can be like. And for the lot of this walkthrough, unfortunately, I had really good runs, but hopefully the strategies that I'm implementing are going to enable you to have the same success that I do. And I'm hoping that the guide helps if you are struggling. But there are a couple of, shall we say, boss destructions in this run, and you should be able to do the exact same as me just by following the instructions that I'm going to convey. But now we have the banner, we can run up here and take on Mr. Vordt. I'm going to pop on this weapon to test both damages. I should have just gone with Deep. Deep is so much better. I don't mess around much with the Warcry. It does add some good damage, but I accidentally do moves I don't want, and I end up getting stuck in them, which can be very dangerous. But watch the frame rate in this fight, guys. If you play on PC, you're in for a treat. So that's the worst move Vordt has. That thrust is the fastest move he does, and if you're not paying attention, it gets you every time. Strategy here is simple. Get to the back of him and do a charged R2. Watch the damage on that axe. See that? Insane. When he gets to the second phase, he's going to do the triple charge and he's going to do the breath attack. If you hit him in the face with the axe, you will stun him and it will let you riposte him. At this point, I didn't know you could do that, so you're not going to see me do it. There's his roll. It's very kind on its hitbox, unlike some attacks in this game, so it's really fair. On this bit here, hit him in the mouth. Run up to him, R1 mouth, stun, parry, riposte, dead. And it would have been over, but instead I get flattened by his belly, because don't touch me then, you bullshit game. And all you want to do is dodge his attacks, chop him down, stay behind him, Sif 101, staying under his big fat belly, and be aware that some of the detection there is less than stellar, and you will have yourself a dead boss, and the opening to the undead settlement where things get real interesting. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope this helps, and I hope you follow the rest of the videos, because there's going to be some... Hopefully there's something you didn't know, or you didn't think of, or some way to add to your own gameplay to make you a better player. It might not be there, you might be just God's gift to Dark Souls 3, but you never know, and that's the wonder of making these videos. So thank you very much for watching, and you take care now.